Hi, everyone, to this week's Barber Talk with Antoine Carey. Antoine Carey is a DMV barber, but he not only is a barber, but he has other inspirational, aspirational things that he's helping the youth with. So we're going to get into and dive into that. But welcome to DMV's Illest. Antoine, thank you for meeting with me today. How was your day?
Today has been a blessed day. I'd like to thank you for the invite as well as DMV Illis Barbers for having me.
Yes, you are more than welcome. As I was saying to you before the interview, one of the guys behind DMV's Illis is really watching, and they follow you and watching and seeing what you're doing, and they're really impressed by it. So it is a
Thank you.
pleasure to have you on this
Thank you.
platform. So thank you so much for agreeing to it. So let's just jump into it. Tell us about yourself. Tell us how you got into the barber industry. I see you have over 30 years experience. Talk to us about that.
So my name is Antoine Carey. I'm the owner and operator of Fade and Company Barbershop as well as Barber Academy here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. A little bit of my back story. I did receive my barber's license while incarcerated. Department of Corrections, Haynesville Correctional Center. I was released in 2014. I did work in another barbershop for roughly 8 months before acquiring or opening Fade and Company Barbershop. It was at that time that I opened and Fade and Company Barber Shop, where I was in Salon Suites, Phoenix Salon Suites, actually. But nonetheless, a barbershop is not a barbershop until you have more barbers to where you can, service the public. I noticed when I opened up the barber shop that there was a lot of people that was interested in the industry, but they did not want to take the proper steps in order to enter this industry, and that is by way of education and a license. It was that birthed the idea of opening up Fade and Company Barber Academy so that I could not only hire but also train those barbers that I wanted to employ.
Yeah, that's really good. So did you start at 30 years in the industry? And if you don't mind me saying, you don't look like you're 50, 60. So I'm
Right.
assuming that you did this before you were incarcerated. I'm sure you had some type of interest. Am I correct?
So to be honest, the 30 years of experience I do not have.
Oh, you don't.
That's not
That's
me.
not you. Okay. Cut.
No, no, that
Cut
yeah,
there.
yeah. I thought I heard you say that, but no, that's not me. I
How many years do you have?
All right, so to answer your question, I did receive my barber's license while incarcerated in 2014. However, I had never had any interest in being a barber up until my incarceration. And for anybody that's been in the Department of Correction, especially in Virginia, you know that there are a limited trades that are available. The facility I ended up at, they had barbering, they had electrical, and they had brick masonry. I was not hauling no cinder blocks for nobody, nor was I playing with nobody electricity. So I kind of found myself in that. But once I was introduced to the barbering industry, I found that I was actually quite good at it, and that was the vehicle that opened up many more doors.
I
Excuse me,
love.
the barber license is what opened up many more doors.
I got you. I'm following you. Okay, awesome. So it was sort of love at first sight, but even though it was handed to you based upon three separate trades, once you got
Right.
into it, you
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's amazing. That's really good. Okay, and so then you went into the salon suites or Phoenix salon suites, and then you eventually branched off into your company. So tell us about that journey, that making that leap, because a lot of professionals are comfortable in those suites, and there's nothing wrong with it, but you actually ventured out and you actually went and started your own company, your own situation. Tell us what led you to that and how that experience was for you.
So again, I would say like I'm not a fan of glass ceilings. I would like to think that most barbers that enter this field ultimately want to soar beyond a certain plateau, moving on to ownership.
Mhm.
Uh, the blessing with going into a salon suite was that it did, even though it was just me, it put me alongside other professionals that were building their brands and, beginning their legacies as well. So like the networking, it put me alongside a lot of colleagues that I still hold true, dear to my heart to this day, that I met in those salon suites. But again, it's just me. That's not quite a barbershop because once I'm booked, I can't service anyone, in which case, I'm still operating as Antoine, not necessarily Faded and Company. Um, from there, of course, I wanted more space. Oh, well, let me take a step back. And the advice that I would give to anybody that is venturing into going to a salon suites is you need to have more than one chair. Why? Because if you go into a salon suites with the same clientele that you had at the shop that you was at, outside of you raising your prices, you have more overhead and no more income. So to make that play without another chair available to where you can bring on an apprentice or any other type of staff, you're already at capacity.
That makes sense.
So now I have this overhead, but now I'm at capacity. I've got to have more space in order to bring on more individuals to help with whatever expenses or to lower the overhead. Um, from there, of course, I did move into another space that had more space, but you can open up a 10 chair shop and it's still just you in there, then you still got even more overhead. So that is what birthed bringing on additional barbers. And that is a task that for any owner, not only the chemistry, because chemistry is important with any staff that you bring on, but also the education point. I've been blessed to do a lot of community outreach, we would say. With that, due to my background, brings a lot of exposure. And the last thing I can do is have any type of paperwork around here that's incorrect for anybody to come check with. And that's what we pride ourselves on here at Faith and Company.
I love that. So when you talk about the community outreach, I'm interested to know a little bit more about what it is that you do and why you find it important to give back in such a way that you
To your point, yes, ma'am. We know that success,
do.
a big portion of success is your giving back, your involvement in the community.
Right.
Uh, Again, because of my background with receiving my barber's license while incarcerated and actually being able to come at home and establish a barbershop and to offer that same opportunity to others. Um, my I guess you would say like the area, my arena is criminal justice reform. And I've been highlighted due to the story of redemption. This was acquired in a negative circumstance. I was allowed or blessed to be able to turn that into a positive and to extend it forward. A lot of the community outreach that I do is usually to troubled youth. I do a lot of speaking back in the Department of Corrections, all of the public schools. We're very active in the community as far as the homeless population and everything. But again, only for the purpose of building relationships.
Absolutely.
When I drape a client up, I have you in the chair for 45 minutes. Like I'm never trying to rush anybody out the chair to get to the next client because like I'm big on the relationship. The service, the actual service is just a haircut, but there's so much more that is there. And we try to utilize that to build relationships, not necessarily for networking, but for the purpose of making a change. We do use the barbering as a vehicle for economic independence, and regardless of whatever background that you have, but ideally we want to touch hearts.
I like that. And while you're speaking of that, like I want you to be able to tell people where they can find, where's your shop located? How can they connect with you? How can they find you in the area?
Fading and Antoine Carey is a byproduct of Fading, or Fading and Company is a byproduct of Antoine Carey. You can find Antoine Carey or Fading and Company, www.fadingandcompany.com. From there, you can find our links to our Bookski app, where you can book with not only the licensed professional barbers on staff, as well as our future professionals that are barber students that are currently enrolled in a approved Virginia barbering school.
Mm.
We do not have anybody here that's not licensed or pursuing licensure. But you can find us and any links to our social media. I would encourage everybody not to look for Antoine Curry, not to look for Fading and Company, but to watch the fruit, watch what we are producing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And where in Virginia are you located?
Oh, I'm sorry. You got me talking. We in Fredericksburg, Virginia. We're right here on Route 1. The address is 2215 Emancipation Highway. Uh, there's not a lot of foot traffic in Fredericksburg, but if you Google Fading the Company, you will find any and everything that there is about us, and it's great stuff to look at. Great
Amazing,
content.
amazing, amazing. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Fredericksburg, but wow, like that's close, and that's only because I'm in Calvert. Just Virginia's just out of
Okay.
like an hour or so away, so it's just it is what
Okay.
it
Yeah.
is. That is absolutely amazing. So you have the students in there that are in school, and then what? After they graduate, then you automatically employ them, or are you helping to mentor them and get them with other barbers, pair them up?
So ideally we are a school and we are invested in the success of the students or anybody that comes through here, whether they complete their success or pursue their success here or elsewhere. Ideally, we would like to offer job placement and keep all our students, but in the same token, there's a lack of licensed barbers in this industry. So anytime that you have a licensed barber coming out, like absolutely we have other shops that are trying to recruit students and whatnot. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan, but that tells me that we are doing something correct for those to be trying to acquire what it is that we're putting out.
Absolutely. And in terms of who you hire, your team, those that you have around you, what do you look for? Because I'm sure you're not, like you mentioned, everything has to be in order. Anything associated with
Right.
the name, all of their paperwork needs to be in order. But what other qualities is it that you're looking for when you're selecting those people that are helping to make your brand what it is?
Okay, so to answer that question first, I would say that we do no advertising here. I've never, put up no help wanted. I don't necessarily advertise for students because we've been blessed that those that supposed to be here have found their way here.
Mhm.
And they are few and far between because they separate themselves between those that actually want to do it the proper way, those that have integrity, and those that are trending. Those that are trending never find themselves to the education part of this industry.
Right.
And YouTube is not our approved curriculum.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
so
And
so
I'm
so I would say those that are established here, they found themselves here because this is where that they should be at.
amazing.
Right.
Amazing. Amazing. So, okay, so then what do you do? This is off topic and I'm gonna bring it back. What do you do to balance your time, your work life, balance, considering that you have a lot going on that you're overseeing? What do you do to decompress and balance that?
Repeat the question again, just so I can answer your exact question.
What do you do to balance your work life, considering you have so much going on, you're overseeing so much? How do you decompress?
So to answer that question is like family.
Hmm.
Fade like this, like, we do have staff. We pride ourselves on faded family. They say if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, like you got to have a team. And we have a strong team here. Like-minded individuals, everybody are pursuing the same objective. Everybody understands the assignment. And everybody sees, or I would like to think that everybody sees how we all going the same way. Now, when we get to your exit, you hop off and you gonna do what you gonna do. But it's like, but this is the way there.
Right.
So for that, like life is easy around here. You reach one, you teach one, and then that one reach one and teach another.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always a template that's laid before you. Here we have students, we have apprentices, we have licensed master barbers, we have licensed master barber instructors, we have barber ones. So
Mm-hmm.
like there is somebody that is that glass ceiling ahead of you that's laying out a template for you, and they will reach a hand back in order to bring you along with them.
I
Uh,
love
so
that.
so so for the majority of the time that I spend here, it ties back into my why, and that's the mentoring side. We have a lot of young men here. My background, I have a criminal background. A lot of the young men here do not have those backgrounds, so it's hard to gauge preventative measures. But I would like to think that this is keeping some of them out the way, and for those that have similar backgrounds to mine, this is your way away from that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so Okay, so you spend so your time with the family and the shop. That is what you help to. It's peaceful essentially. It's peaceful and it's
I'm married to faded. I'm married to faded. This when this where I'm at. Yeah, this what we doing.
I love that. I love that. So do you offer classes then? I didn't take the time to notice that. So that is my apology. But do you offer classes for people who want to outside of the shop? If I was just interested in barbering, maybe you hold a monthly or quarterly, class on that.
So we do offer two curriculums here at Fading and Company Barber Academy. We of course and you are out of Maryland, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm not exactly sure what the licensure requirements are, but here in Virginia, we do offer a 1,100-hour barber one curriculum as well as a 1,500-hour master barber curriculum.
Oh, wow. Amazing. And so where do you see the industry headed? Where do you see it headed? So I've talked to a couple of barbers where we were interviewing and they were like, they jumped in the game before the social media. So it was boots on the
Okay.
ground. There was, word of mouth. It was standing outside of the barbershop saying, hey, come sit in my chair. It was that type of situation. In today's clientele world or whatever you want to call it, but with the younger barbers, they want to go, and it's not a bad or good thing, but they just want to go to more social media, right? But I've talked to so many barbers who have a massive following, but that doesn't necessarily equate to the money. So can you talk a little bit about the industry mixed with the social media and then how you're really supposed to promote and present yourself to the public to really be successful?
All right. I'm glad you asked.
Thank you.
Uh, so this is a topic that I feel very passionate about. Very passionate about. I'm biased in that I'm a 40-year-old man, so I've lived half my life and there was no social media. This is a made-believe world to me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the first question you asked was, what is social media doing to the industry? I think it's to its detriment.
Mm-hmm.
I think that social media, uh, I feel that there is consumed with more influencers than educators.
Right.
Uh, I feel that I'm gonna choose my
Yep, I
words.
got you. I got you.
Right, but
And I'm
I'm definitely
smiling because I want everybody to understand. I'm smiling because I'm 41. We're in the same generation, so that's
so
why that I got you. I got you. Go ahead. You can.
so let me take this approach. As a business owner, and I'm only Antoine Carey. I'm nobody.
Right.
I'm a 14 convicted felon, barber, but a barber is what made me something. My barber's license did that. Uh, Social media, I feel like they focuses on everything that's not of value. I'm yet to see Clipper side or barber side or DPOR to drop reels. I
Mhm.
feel that social media forces people to highlight the individual as well and as opposed to a brand because I don't see Walmart reels. I don't see brand reels. I see individuals. And that's great if you want to build as an individual, but your success is not, again, if you want to go fast,
Yeah.
you take yourself. If you want to go far, it's different. Uh Also, like I really have a problem with social media because I know that there are those that are influencing those that are interested in this industry and they have no education. They have no license. Uh, a reel I put back a while ago, I do not consider anyone that does not have a barber's license a barber. It is an oxymoron. No more, no less. As a master barber here today, no more, no less am I a cosmetologist because I do not have a cosmetology license. There are individuals on social media or influencing others that are watching social media that will ascribe to this title and you have nothing. You are not a barber, nor a business owner if you do not have a business license, nor a barbershop owner if you do not have a barbershop license. I don't care if you're in a salon suites, if you in your own place, you're not. You're not. Because what are my students, once they have completed 1,500 hours, $10,000 tuition, have went on to pass states? We cannot be the same. And there's more of that influence on social media than there is education. So I would say that social media is to a detriment. In the instance of social media is, and I say social media, I'm a little biased, but as far as not saying social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever, um, I feel that there's a discord with the younger generation in their ability to socialize. That is why I can edit videos and I can post reels, but I can't open my mouth and put my hand out and engage someone to build that relationship, and then that builds clientele. I think it's to his detriment.
And that's powerful, because that touches so many realms, not just Barber, that touches, the younger generation in every aspect.
I would add, I'm not a fan of how because everything is, I think the younger generation is income driven. They chasing money. And social media has made an avenue to make this money when there is nothing behind it.
No, no.
And I have a problem with that. I definitely have a problem with that.
What do you think? So we know the problem and we agree on it. Then what do you think in terms of the barbering industry and how you would like to see it? What do you think the solution?
So they tell me, say, like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can make him thirsty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
so I highlight the professionalism. I highlight the professionals that I'm putting out here. And the wounded dog does bark the loudest. Yes, it affects them people that you do not have that piece of paper and you can't go get it.
Okay.
And that's why many have not pursued that.
Mm-hmm.
And I admire any platform that I'm given, that I'm able to voice my opinion, because I know that there are others that stand like me. There are those that can go in their wallet, they purse right now, and pull out that BPOR with that seal that solidifies me as who I am. And it starts with that. So it's like, yo, I think we need to be a lot more louder. The question I would have for all of the reels and everything that I see everybody put up, why they don't highlight that? And if they did have licenses, would that be something we seen more? So if anything, I will make a call to action for all of the licensed professionals, those that have actual licenses, to stand up. I know that we are the older generation. I like a whole lot of posts and never hit the button. I don't comment, I don't share. I'll go to your DM to message you and tell you how I appreciate your post or whatnot, but because I socialize. But in order to change that narrative, I think we make them thirsty by all of the licensed professionals standing up.
I like that. I like that. And because of that, you've given me ideas to ask other in our generation going forward, because I really like that response. And I would be curious to know if that's a consensual,
We,
situation.
we have got to doing this. We got people out here calling themselves barbers with no anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, others would turn around and call him a barber too. So what's wrong with him calling himself that if he called it? Antoine Carey, Faded in the Company, I do not recognize you as such.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't show me any valid, active paperwork that says that, I do not recognize you as a barbershop owner, nor business owner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you think is lacking? So we talked about the social media, but what do you think is lacking with, and it doesn't even have to be about the younger generation, but those barbers who are not exuding the type of professionalism that you are instilling, that you are exemplifying, what do you think is lacking in the barbers that um, are not doing that? And for example, I've heard some barbers say we need to bring back every head gets shampooed, period.
They need to bring back, say again.
Some barbers have said every head needs to get shampooed, period. You know, some barbers have said time management needs to be better. Cleanliness, when make sure. So what do you think a lot of barbers can can really focus on to really bring that professionalism, to bring the business aspect and drive it higher into their shop.
All right, so the operative word is barbers. We are talking about licensed people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just so we're on the same page. For that, I would encourage them to build yourself. Build yourself. Learn how to be a good person yourself. When you are a good people, that's what you attract. And being a good person is like being good with your finances. That's financial literacy. Your communication skills, learning how to talk to people, learning how to listen. If you build yourself up, then these things, everything else is a byproduct.
Yeah, absolutely. 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 I really appreciate that. And I know we're coming down on the time. Is there anything that you want to say before we go? Maybe a shout out to anyone else that you're working closely with that's doing an amazing job. The floor is yours.
Uh, Rightfully so. Like I'm a board member of Fail Safe Era. Miss Juanita Shanks is the CEO and president. We focus mainly on combating recidivism and making the transition from incarceration back to society seamless. That's it's like a mother to me. Um, Outside of that, it's like the fruit of Faded and Company, the Faded family. Big up Faded, Faded. Yeah, type time. And like I would salute all of the show enough licensed professionals, man. I charge you with making this distinction. They are not us. They are not us. And I will be the first to go on record as saying that. Yo, I do not recognize them people, nor will I ever. And I hope that many more would jump on that bandwagon. And the template is laid for them to get there. Word. That outside of that, I greatly appreciate you having me and allowing me to speak on this platform.
I
We're here at 2215 Emancipation Highway, fadingandcompany.com, fadingandcompany.bookski.net. You can book with us. You can find out anything that we got going on here. Uh,
And we're going to
Thank
make
you.
sure all of that is in it's faded underscore and underscore company on Instagram. But we're going to make sure all of your links are
Thank
also
you.
within
Thank you.
this description so that people can click on because I think you in this short amount of time have touched on a lot to where I'm not even in the industry, but I'm interested. Like now I'm interested. Like now I'm
Thank you.
thirsty. I'm that
Thank
horse that's now thirsty.
you. Right, right, right. Yeah.
so, so I really appreciate your time. Everyone, please be sure to tune in to Antoine Carey and his company and follow them. And if you like this video and the videos like it, please be sure to like, comment, and share. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Antoine, for your time today. It has been a pleasure speaking with you.